Hi, welcome to Window into Clarity. Today we have Cynthia Lamborne here with us from lovenectar.com. And Cynthia has been teaching meditation and sacred sexuality since the 70s. And I met Cynthia just really recently, and I loved hearing some of the secrets that she has about the intimacy of life, and I wanted to do a window into clarity with her. And so thank you for being here, Cynthia, and meeting with me.
It really dates me when you say the 70s. Oh my gosh.
30, 40
Many
years.
people were here, right, not
Yeah.
even born that
True.
are tuning in today.
That's true.
Old timers in the field here.
Yes, yes. And thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I asked Cynthia, if you had an audience and you wanted to share in a quick morsel, what do you want to share with people? And you said...
I think, one thing that excites me, and when I hear so many men and so many couples come to me and say, many men say, oh, I really just want to please my woman, my partner, and that's so touching. And realize that they've come a long way, baby, kind of thing. They've really come a long way because, in earlier times, and that, I'm familiar with from my generation and generations before, it was all about the man's pleasure, and the woman was just the means for that pleasure. There wasn't, if you look at old movies or something, there wasn't even an acknowledgement that, women had the capacity for pleasure. So we're coming a long way. Sure. Now, this is a beautiful evolution that we're in right now and enjoying, and women are able to really access their own divinity, their own goddess nature, because men are so supportive of that now and so on board for that. But I feel there is another evolution from this, and that's really exciting because men now have the opportunity to not only access the pleasure of feeling a woman's pleasure, but access a deeper quality inside themselves that allows them to be completely, fully, I would say, enlightened, realized, awakened, opened, from their heart, their mind, their soul, everything engaged in a way that allows them to naturally give that to the woman. So the woman becomes satisfied through your own fulfillment instead of in any way denying your own. That's starting here,
starting with the
home.
Men, starting with them.
Starting where it's most.
What I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, where it's you're most intimate with your own nature. But also, it's a vulnerability in that you're going to be exploring parts of yourself, like we all are, and on our journey. Parts of yourself with each other. So you might come to a part of yourself, for instance, where you feel some kind of unknown, some point where instead of kind of mustering up the male ego and I can do this, I know how to do this, I'm a great lover, you just simply go into that vulnerability. And that is an incredibly exquisite, intimate secret that most men don't know, and many women also, because it's not the sexuality that's born in this culture is not born out of that kind of vulnerability. So, but this is a level of opening that can happen from the heart level that will help to integrate all the things we have in our head about sexuality, about who we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be, and all that pressure of how the word, but basic sexual pleasure.
Exactly.
And giving the woman pleasure. So there's that pressure, but there is another level that can drop into a place that is a bit unknown, and there are many different tools that we can use to help access that. So we're not used to doing that in any place in our life. We're not successful by being vulnerable. We're successful by putting up a facade and all that sort of thing. And you have to keep up that facade.
Right.
And that is definitely no fun.
No.
Particularly when you want to really just be bubbling and just having a great time.
Yeah. The word you used was unknown. And like you said just now, so it's exploring the unknown and making it okay. Making the unknown okay. Within the...
Being intimate with the unknown. Because that is the kind of vulnerability, because it's a little scary, you know, when you're on the edge of like what you think you know and what you do know, but that's where the something bubbles up. It's like a wellspring of your own experience of life starts to really bubble up into the forefront, instead of like keeping all that, you know, closed or shut off, and you just do what you know.
Right.
You know? But then all the old patterns come up, as you know, like what I know is this, and it starts, and particularly in long-term relationships, because it gets very flat when you think, oh, I'll just do this, and becomes very mechanical. So how do you keep that aliveness in a relationship?
Yes.
You keep on that edge of the unknown, which is very, very, it's powerful, and it's very exciting and scary, you know, all at the same time. You know, which, you know, there's a very, very subtle relationship between, you know, that edge of fear and excitement.
Yes, exactly. What is that saying? Something about the breath or something is the difference between fear and excitement or something. So yeah, it is. So give if you could give us a tip on a way for, because it's coming from the man, but he's also maybe needing, I don't know, is there a way we as women can give permission for him? Is that where we would start, or would you start with giving him some tips?
Well, a woman has to tune into herself first, and women are naturally more intuitive, so we're the guides in this.
Okay.
So I remember in different times when I've been, you know, with my partner, he's just like, okay, I'm gonna like push, you know, through this, and he wants to do the, you know, kind of, what do they call it, slam bang,
right,
kind of thing, you know. I just put my hand on his heart. It's just a reminder to pull that energy up to his heart, or I just take a really deep breath. And that sort of is a reminder, and you let each other know some of these cues beforehand. You know, like, okay, remember it's breath. So there's several different tools, I would say. They're very basic and very intimate and simple. Your breath, coming back to your breath and breathing deeper, and exhaling long, slow exhales. So you're savoring the moment. You're dropping into the moment, because everything that's new and alive comes from being present in the moment, instead of all the rote rules we have for, you know, what sex is supposed to be and what we're supposed to be, and then you have all the performance anxiety that comes in, you know, on that. This is a different quality of
Lovemaking.
Of lovemaking, really.
So breathing is number one.
Breathing is number one. Where your attention is number two. Your attention and your intention. First off, both of you having an intention together, talking about what it is. What do I really want? What am I missing? You know, we've been together for 10 years now, and what is it that I would really like? What do you really like? What do you see in movies and it really touches your heart, and you really say, oh, I want that kind of whatever it is, you know. Of course, that's going to come from a woman usually. But so where is your intention?
Okay.
And then your attention is going to manifest that attention. I mean, your attention is going to manifest that intention.
Okay.
So you've talked a little bit about, you know, what is it that, why did you cry in that movie that time? What was it that touched you? Or when you, even if you saw a sexual, you know, really sexually explicit movie, what was it there that, like, wow, that really kind of got me going, and what's happening with that? So your intention and your attention. So where is your attention? A lot of times when men try to not be sexual, not be, you know, to have orgasm too fast, they do things to distract themselves. It's the worst thing possible, because you get completely out of the moment. Some of them even say they, you know, like think about a football game, or it's like, oh no,
or their grandmother,
or
it's like, no,
there's something that will, like, you know,
get them out of the moment.
But what you can do instead is to deep breathe and slowly exhale. So you're extending that moment instead of getting out of the moment. So getting out of the moment,
You don't want to.
You don't get, it gets you nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere very fast. and very often it's less fulfilling because your whole being, your heart, your soul, your everything is not,
not there.
fully engaged. So having that intention and follow that with your attention. And as we know, with even in sports and Olympic sports, they're doing where they imagine how they would be pole vaulting or whatever that might be.
Yes.
So energy follows your imagination. Imagination's a very powerful tool, but don't get ahead of yourself. Not like they would do in this is not an Olympic sport. But what I'm saying is how powerful your intention and your attention is. So, so if you have your attention to your breath, to your partner, feel, like sense, like even touching, like if I'm touching your hand, and I touch it as if I'm feeling, receiving the sensation of every little hair, every little innuendo, of the softness of the skin, so soft.
Thank you.
So every bit of that you're receiving.
Right.
So you're not just giving, oh, I'm giving by touching you. I'm receiving you through that very touch. So, and women, men, everyone wants to be gotten. Everyone wants to be really received. Acknowledged. And that's an incredible kinesthetic way of acknowledging another human being. Touching them all over, noticing how the texture of the skin on their thigh is different than on their shoulder, and even receiving that on the other side. You are giving that to this person. You're allowing them to be connected with you, your very soul, through your skin. So that's another very deep. Yeah, it is very deep, and you can just keep deepening your experience of sexuality, and that never gets old. That never gets old. The deeper you go, the more exciting, and on the edge, as I said, it can be scary too. You'll be. Also have some attention with your feelings. What's going on? Okay.
Number 4.
Number 4. This is number
3.
3. Yeah.
Number 3.
Well, if you count attention
right,
and intention, so
that's
breath,
attention,
intention, and then this is your I forgot what you just
feeling.
said. Feeling, yeah. Right. So your internal. What am I feeling as I'm doing this? Not just, oh, how is she feeling? Oh, she's getting more excited. Oh, I'm successful.
Yes.
Just feel even that vulnerability of wanting her to be successful, and that gives meaning to you. And like, just that's a very vulnerable space. When you allow yourself to feel that, you don't have to do anything about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to analyze it or any of that stuff, figure anything out, just feel. And when you notice that feeling in a neutral way, just, oh, yeah, I'm kind of feeling that insecurity. That already brings you into a very vulnerable, open space. It's everything that women really want. I would say not every woman, I would say the feminine ones.
Right.
Because women often are going more in that direction of the masculine. They just want to get to the goal, the big O.
Because they're in a rush, we're busy. But when we're in our feminine energy, then we want to feel every aspect of who we are and who this other person is. And that's another talk. That's another talk. Okay. So those are the 4 main. I would say those 4. You add those aspects into your lovemaking, life will change. Yes. And when your lovemaking deepens like that, everything else in your life deepens. It's just it's a mirror to your whole life. The microcosm represents the whole macrocosm. So get ready for some really positive and really beautiful experiences of who you are. Wonderful. Thank you, Cynthia. Yeah. Please reach out to Cynthia at lovenectar.com. Thank you so much for being with Window into Clarity.